got a really good piece of advice from someone who's in management, and they said, when you're a manager or leader, whether it's a professor with PhD students, a professor with other professors, more people who are senior in the business, it's best to kind of think that as a manager, your presumption is you will not be liked. Presume that is going to happen. People will not like you. They're not going to think you're a fun person to be around. They're not going to be happy to see you. And if they are, then a pleasant surprise. And that's really important, right? Because then when you take actions, you're willing to risk that people don't like you. In fact, you don't expect it, right? And your job is not to be liked. That's not in your job description. That's a nice bonus. Your job is to help people do things they would not do otherwise, to help them get stuff done in ways they wouldn't. Otherwise, why do they need a manager? Your job is to hold people accountable for doing things. Your job is to prompt them to go outside their comfort zone. Obviously, it's not to be a jerk or be rude. That's not your job. That's anti your job. But the problem is most of us, we can't help it. If we want to be liked by someone, we're not going to probably do our jobs that well as a manager. And to give evidence of this, a day after I heard this, someone else was like, thank goodness we have this new project manager. They're a machine, when they come in, they just get stuff done. And now they're not afraid to offend people. Again, they're very polite. I've worked with this person. She managed me once actually for an education project. But the colleague said, when she's in, she's like, hey, here's what needs to be done. This work wasn't done well enough. And she just kind of moves forward. And what's incredible, what happens? People like that are more likely to be liked because people, they're tough. I'll give another quote from someone. They said, when I worked with this person, they were the most demanding person I ever worked with. They pushed me to do things I didn't think I was going to be able to do. And you know what? It was the best experience of my life. But it's hard to do that, right? So how do you combine all this together? So there's a lot. So takeaways, what do you take from this? And what's your hashtag could do differently? What can you do differently as a result of this? For example, one idea could be when you speak to people and you're helping get them to do something, even if you're not a formal manager, if you're trying to direct their attention, you're managing them, right? My PhD students are managing me. Presume that you're not going to be liked, and then just say it anyway. Say, I would need you to do X and Y, and you didn't do X and Y. What came up for you, and how can we move towards that? Or, I was expecting X, and instead I observed Y. Can you tell me about the difference between those, and how can we move towards those together? And just say it, and then ask them feedback. Say, how are you on a scale from -5 about me saying that? And I think the key thing is, if you're worried about offending people, it's not that you don't worry, it's that you say, you write it down and you A/B test. Try saying it different ways and then ask someone after, in the moment or later, say, how was your mindset +5 in saying that? Was that helpful or not? Or neutral? And then that will help you get over your fear of offending people, because a lot of the things you think would offend people, a lot of things you think would make them dislike you, actually are very important for helping manage people, helping get people to do things. What's management? Getting people to do things. We're all managing each other constantly. When you talk to someone, you're managing their attention. You're taking from what they were doing to what you're doing now. So yeah, what are the takeaways from this?